Martin Hall joined by Blair O'Neal, and gosh, it's been a great year for us this year, hasn't it, on School
Yes,
Golf?
it has. So much fun this year. We had some great experiences at TPC Sawgrass, at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. So many to list. But we had a great year, didn't we?
Yeah, I got to go to St Andrews, Scotland, the old course.
Yes,
So
he
that
did.
was,
I'm
that
jealous
was
about
cool.
that.
Well, maybe next year if you're a very
Maybe
good
next
golfer.
year.
Look, I want to talk about my personal takeaway from 2019. The thing that I finally crystallized in this sometimes muggy head up here, something that probably I wish I'd learned a long time ago. I've had influences, but really the genesis of this for me this year was I spent a lot of time with Karrie Webb in the spring. I mean, former world #1, still a great player. I mean, she knows she's not playing that much anymore, but what a brain to listen to and talk on the game of golf. And I thought back about my playing career, which of course was many, many, many moons ago. But I reflect on what stopped me being the player I would have liked to be. And it was my inability to draw the ball that stopped me. And then it was my awful attempt that I had to try and draw the ball. And I got in a mess. And I think a lot of people, they miss what I'm going to call the first step. I know I did for a long time. Look, I want you to set up to the ball. And let's talk about things that we do know, we all know, to hit a draw. Let's say let's define a draw, first of all, as a ball that would start out, for us, we're right-handers, would start out to the right of the target, would come back, and it would finish about by that flagpole. That would be a draw. Something that sort of goes over there is not a draw. And people tend to call it a push draw. Well, it starts out right and it comes back and, you know, you hit a push draw. And I would say for the longest time, I wanted to hit this push draw because I saw good players hitting the push draw. I thought, oh, it's a lovely, lovely shot I want. And for the longest time, I stood about parallel to my target line and I tried to swing the club back a bit more inside and swing out a bit more and turn my hands over. And it actually reminded me of a story from Bernhard from many you know, one of my conversations with Bernhard. He said when he was just a young man, he did a clinic in Paris with Seve. And Seve, let's just change places for a moment. And Seve was talking about how he'd hit draws and fades. And Seve, the great Seve, the artist, he said, you know, well, if I want to draw it, I lighten my grip a little bit, I soften my arms a little bit, I take it out a little bit, and then I drop it under and I stall the hips and I throw the toe round the ball and I'm later with the turn. And he was hitting these beautiful turns. And he said, and when I want to fade it, I hold it a bit tighter, I take it out, and I turn, and I keep my chest down, and he's hitting these beautiful fades, and I change my swing. And Bernhard Langer said something to me that finally I've got in my head. Bernhard Langer said, that's too hard. That's too difficult. And Karrie Webb essentially told me exactly the same thing. So here's what I now know about hitting a draw. Yes, your club does need to swing to the right of the target, but where's the best place to find that? With your setup, with your aim. And I didn't do that. I tried to leave the setup about the same, but didn't change the aim. If that's my target line, and I want to swing to the right of that target line, the best thing I can do is take my whole stance line. And by that, Blair, I mean the line across my feet, the line across my knees, the line across my hips, the line across my shoulders, and I aim that some amount to the right. And I'd always thought, well, you've got to stay parallel. And now I've got to find the closing of the club face. I'm going to have you come in and do this in a minute. And the way I've found that works well for me is I will close the club face a bit at address, and then, and this is really important for me, if my Steadicam can come in here, when I'm trying to draw the golf ball, I have found it works well if I put the club a bit more in the fingers of my lead hand. Right down in the roots of the fingers. I don't like that unless I want to close the club face. And with my trail hand, I put the club a bit more in the roots of the fingers. So I've got the club face a bit closed. I put it in the fingers, more of my lead hand. I put it more in the palm of my trail hand. And now I really don't have to change the golf swing to speak of. So I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to have you come in and walk you through that process now. So I would say for me, I mean, the thing that stopped me being the player I wanted to was there was nothing wrong with trying to hit the draw, but I forgot step number one. Aim right. If you're a right-handed player, aim right. Aim your feet to the right, aim your hips to the right, aim your shoulder, aim right. So let's have you aim somewhat to the right.
Okay.
Now, with your grip, I want you to just turn the club face so it's a bit closed. Hold it much more in the fingers of your lead hand.
Okay, in the fingers there.
Now put your trail hand on. hold it more in the roots of the fingers, and then you can just swing along your body lines. So you've done an awful lot of it with the setup. Now, look, there may be other things that you do, I know that, and you might feel the toe go a bit faster at times, you might keep the right shoulder a bit higher, but if you can do it with the setup, it's the best way to do it. So let's have the hitting light on here, and let's have a go at this one. And I think from there, I actually think the sticks must have upset the computer there. That white stick thought it was a golf ball. I know you couldn't hit one like that, so let's do that again. Okay. So we're aiming right, although it did hook by
fingers. It did, yes.
So we've got the grip. That'll be the sticks on the ground that upset you there.
Here we go.
Here we go. Starting it out to the right, because the aim is to the right. There we go. That would be more like it. So we'll delete that first one. We know that
yes, please.
Slight computer error. And I've been teaching this a little bit more. Well, a lot more lately, actually, with the juniors. And I think if you can draw it that way, you can do the opposites of this and you can fade it. And then you've got all three shots. You've got the draw, the fade, and reasonably straight. And you've got them with the hand path being about the same around the body. So if there's one thing I want to leave as sort of my footprint on draws and fades, it would be that you don't change your hand path around your body to any great degree to hit draws and fades. You try and do as much of it as you can before the swing gets going. So one more time, aim to the right, get the club more in the fingers of your lead hand, get the club more in the palm of your trail hand, shut the face a little bit and go ahead and hit it. So let's have you hit one more.
All right.
We've got the sticks out of the way.
One more.
Let's aim a bit more to the right this time. We're going to give a big sweeping draw, a bit more to the right, even a bit more.
A little more.
You can aim plenty to the right there. There we go. The grip will feel a bit different. The face will look a bit shut to your body. And now you've got that ball starting out to the right. And I have had, as a teacher, I have had great fun, great pleasure in seeing people who couldn't draw the ball for years be able to draw it this way. It's not as hard as I made it, and it's probably not as hard as you've made it over the years. So please give it a try.
Absolutely great lesson there. And I love how you simplified everything. And all these tips are things that you can check before you even put the club in motion.
I would like to say it only took me 40 years to learn.
Only 40 years. So this is the information that you were getting right here from this source. It's going to help you. Those scores are going to lower. Hope this helps you with the draw. For more great tips, subscribe to Golf Channel on YouTube and make sure to watch School of Golf.